Hey, good evening, everybody. How are you doing tonight? I hope you're having a good night. I am having a good day so far. Looks like CG Anime Fan has already commented. He said that he hopes that everybody's week went really well. And I hope your week went well also, CG Anime Fan. I hope you had a great week. And Marty Baker, welcome, Marty Baker. Hope you're having a good day as well. She says hi. And Invisible River Ranch. How are you doing, Invisible River? Good to see you on here. How's life treating you? I heard a cha-ching. I guess I just sold something in my eBay store. Let's see what I sold. Oh, I sold a vest. A leather vest. Sold for $25.20. So I guess I have some packing to do tomorrow morning. Visible River says he guesses he's a homesteader after a lot of thinking. Never thought of that. And CG says, thank you for always being really nice. Well, thank you, CG. You are always really nice. How's everything going with your YouTube channel? Have you put up any new videos? What's happening? Marty says she's good. And Invisible River says he's broke again and a tarp blew away. So let me guess the reason why you're broke. Is it because you bought another gold bullion or another gold coin or some type of gold? Because you're the gold guy. Seems like I always do things a few times. CG said he had a good, productive week when it comes to videos. And he's been working a lot on a lot of Batman reviews. Okay. I'll have to check those out. Was a new pump only in a month? Oh, okay. So you had to pay for a new pump and you spent all your money on gold. Well, you got a bunch of gold that you can turn in and pay for that pump. Probably pay for a dozen of those pumps or more. Invisible River says he didn't buy anything new. So what's been going on with me? Well, it's been a typical week in the life of Retire Inspired Nation. So the first part of the week, I started doing stuff like getting stuff ready and listing stuff, and then I went to the flea market booth and labeled a bunch of new games, put a bunch of new games out. Not new games, but new to the store. So I put a bunch of games out, a video game. That's what I'm talking about. And what else did I do? Oh, I closed. Yeah, that's what I had to do. That's what I had to do on Monday. No, Tuesday. I closed my booth with My Kid's Attic. That's the one that has been doing terrible. I just shut her down. I went there with my truck and trailer, got all the stuff that I had in there and put it on my trailer, loaded it down. Oh, my goodness, I am tired for some reason. So I loaded it down and I just took it to my storage building, put it away. So no more My Kid's Attic. It's gone. So I'm down to one flea market booth. And I think I'm going to keep it that way because it's easier that way. I was paying $135 a month at My Kid's Attic for that booth. And first 2 months, I sold one item for $25. It was a Mary Kay item. And then when I went there on Tuesday to clean out the booth, I asked her if I had sold anything. She said I had. Oh my goodness, I'm just yawning like crazy tonight. She said I had sold a couple of dresses for like $65. So at least there's that. So I'll be able to recuperate at least a little bit of my money. And my kid's attic takes a percentage for themselves just because they think they're worth it. But I'm not going to deal with them anymore because they I think part of the problem was that they just don't stay open. They're open. They open at 10 and they close at 5, Monday through Friday, and then they are only open 3 hours on Saturday. That's it. So how do they expect to sell anything? Give me just a second. I need to make one little adjustment. How's my picture tonight? Oh, I'm already on the phone. Good. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be on my iPhone hotspot tonight so that we didn't have any issues with picture quality. Let me back it up just a little bit. Okay, so Invisible said the pump wasn't bad except for not lasting too long, I guess. And Marty said she liked the video I posted. Did you guys see my video that I posted on Friday night? Actually, I didn't. I worked on it on Friday and got it all done, and I posted it. By the time it was posted, it was after midnight, but it was a late posting. So it's been up since like early after midnight Saturday morning. And Marty was on that video. Invisible says he has a spare pump. I'm assuming he means pump. A couple of spare pumps. He's just got to take the well apart again. Well, that's sounds like a lot of work. And you're going to be an expert at it. Marty asked, am I sleepy? I guess I am, because I am yawning like crazy tonight. And c'est la vie, yeah, c'est la vie on that other booth. It wasn't making any money. It was just costing me. Cats coming soon, so you're going to be doing some videos about your cats. Marty says it was your pictures. Good. She liked the pictures that I put in my video. And Badlands Bandit, welcome Badlands. How are you doing tonight? He says, good evening, Sam and Retire Inspired Nation. Sorry I'm late. I was celebrating William Byron's win in Iowa today. Go team, 24. That's cool. So William Byron won the race today. That's great. I know he's your favorite. I do have some 24 cars in my flea market booth if you're interested. They're making a Freaky Friday movie too. Okay. Your cat. It's about time he jumps on you. Yeah, it is about time. He got in trouble earlier. He is probably in hiding because he got in trouble. He got up on my filing cabinet where I had some things. He just jumped up there and lost his balance and just knocked a bunch of stuff off. So I fussed at him a little bit, and he went and hid. So he's hiding out somewhere. He don't want to be out. He might come back in here before the end of my live stream. And Badlands Bandit says he is interested. Got to check out my link. Okay. Well, I don't have a link to the. I do have a link to the eBay store, which is in the description of this video. But I don't have a link to the cars that I have listed in my flea market. You can't just go and look and see what I've got in my inventory at the flea market unless you actually go there. But if you're interested, I can. I'll be glad to take some pictures and send them to you. Marty says, "How is Tigger? He is good, other than being a bad boy. He got in a little bit of trouble." And cats do that. They sure do. Welcome, Jim with Gumball Gold. How are you doing tonight? It's good to see you on here. How are your gumball machines doing? Are they profitable? I hope so. I've been very pleased with Badlands. I'm going to put my email address on here, and you can send me an email address with your phone number. So you can send me an email address with your phone number, and I will shoot you some pictures. What's up, Outdoors Dreadhead? What's happening, my friend? Yo, bro. Good to see you on here. Hope everything is going well for you up there in Utah. I can't remember. I never can remember where you're at, man. It just always escapes me. I just don't understand. I guess old age is getting to me. So what I was about to say is the eBay store is making a real comeback. I'm really happy with how it's been doing. But one thing that I've been doing with my eBay store the last week, I've been listing 100 items a day. And you say, well, how do you list 100 items a day? And I'll tell you how I list. I end 100 items and I sell similar 100 items. So that's how I list 100 items a day. But yeah, the eBay store is making a comeback. I'm really pleased with it and proud of it. And so I'll be sharing some of that with you guys tonight. Marty asked, what is the weather like up there? I guess she's asking, here in Montgomery, it is a balmy 96 degrees. It is hot. And you know, the humidity here in Montgomery, it's just as bad in South Alabama, but Alabama is just a humid state. And so it kind of sucks, the humidity. Badlands said he was in Mississippi last week, not near Oxford, but certainly the Magnolia State. Yeah, but if you ever go to Oxford, you need to holler at Gumball Gold, and he'll take you for a ride, a joyride in his what I'm trying to say, Cadillac, his Corvette. Okay, I did get it right. Yes, oh, wonderful. I got it right. But how are things in Utah? Is the summer job still going well? And how long does that last, or when does that end? Are you going to have to close up shop at some point and move somewhere else? Let's see. Let me get caught up on these. I got a mosquito in here and it's trying to bite me on the neck. Invisible River says when he went to Miami Beach in 1969, they got mad at him and he emptied the gumball machine. And Badlands was in Mississippi last week, not near Oxford. We already did that one. Yep, Utah. And Badlands says, hey to Dread. CG says, I hope that it cools down for you. I hope it does too, because it is so hot and miserable. The summers are miserable, especially when you have to go cut grass. Fortunately for me, I do have a riding mower, so that helps a lot with cutting the grass. Gumball Gold said it has cooled down in Oxford. Welcome, William Smith. Good to see you on here, my brother, from the same mother. Yeah, hope you're doing well, and I hope that your bride is doing well also. It's good to see you on here. Visible River says it's 104 degrees Fahrenheit there, only 1% humidity. Well, I could take the hot, like 104 degrees, as long as there's not the humidity. Boy, if there were you had the humidity we had, you would have it bad. Outdoor says it's good up there where he is. Invisible River said it was 69 degrees last night, coldest evening so far. So it's cold in the desert and hot during cold at night and hot during the day. Dry heat river is the best. Yes, it is. Dreadhead says sometime in October he'll be done with his summer job. Weather is beautiful out there. I think the highest temperature he's seen is 92, no humidity, averages about 85 during the day. So Dredd, what's your next destination after you leave Utah? Do you have plans for the next location? What's up with that? Are you still working on it? Everybody saying hello to everybody. William says Valerie, his wife, is doing well. Glad to hear that. Soon as the sun sets, it's a fiesta there in the desert. 52 degrees at night. Man, I wish I had 52-degree temperatures at night. Don't you miss the Alabama weather, my friend, Outdoors? See, if y'all don't know, Outdoors is from Alabama, or actually he's from the Columbus, Georgia area, which is right next to the state of Alabama. And his family is also from Alabama. Outdoor says he's putting in an application to go to the beet harvest in Idaho. Wow. I have heard that the beet harvest is very grueling, but you can let us know how it is when you get up there. But I've heard that it's real hard work. Invisible River says he's way south near Mexico border and Tombstone. I should have stopped in and saw you when I was in Tombstone in January, but I was kind of on a short turnaround and on a mission. I wanted to get back to my home after having been gone for a couple of weeks. Actually, I think I was out in the van for 3 weeks. By the way, speaking of the van, my battery went dead in the van, and I had to jump it off. And I think something is wrong with the radio or something, because when I jumped it off and I drove it for a while, parked it, and today it's dead again. So it should have been charged. For those of you who might know something about vehicles and cars, it should have been charged after driving it 15 miles. The battery should be back full charge again, shouldn't it? Shouldn't it hold a charge? So I'm thinking maybe that there's an issue with the radio. Outdoor says the pay is great for his summer job. And William says he's still selling propane and propane accessories. And Outdoor says he does not miss the humidity in Alabama. How old is it? How old is the van? Oh, how old is the battery? let's see. I just bought the battery. I just went to not AutoZone, another local place, and just bought the battery. So it is brand new. So it should not have gone dead. I'm thinking there's an issue with the radio. Maybe the radio is draining the battery or something. Not necessarily. Jack, what's up, my man? Good to see you on here tonight. Hope you're doing well. How's everything going in your neck of the woods, and how are your eBay sales? Gumball Gold says alternator or battery needs replaced, or both. I replaced the battery, so you think it might be the alternator, but wouldn't the new battery have maintained the charge or something? I would think so. Jack says hello to everybody. Battery's over 3 years old. It's kaput. Yeah, I did have. Actually, that van, that Sprinter van, has two batteries. It has one in the engine compartment, and then it has a second battery underneath the driver's seat, right in front. Actually, it's right in front of the driver's seat where the driver's feet go. And so you have to pull that out, and that's called the starter battery. So that's what is used to start the vehicle with. So what I was going to say about the van is I got to make sure that it's working and there aren't any issues with it. I mean, once I got it cranked, it ran just fine, no problem. And then after I stopped and turned it off and started again, it started right back up. So there wasn't any issues. So I think the alternator is good. But I did have an issue with the radio where it wouldn't turn off. So what I ended up doing is going in and unhooking the battery to make the radio turn off. And I'm thinking that there's some kind of issue with the radio where it's still pulling some kind of energy or some kind of electricity from the battery, and that may be what's causing it to keep going dead. So it's going to be interesting to find out what's going on with it. But I got to get it fixed. I got to get it straightened out and make sure there's no issue with the battery holding a charge, because I'm going to be making a trip in September to Mount Airy, North Carolina. I'm going to be going to Mayberry Days in Mount Airy. They have an annual kind of a celebration once a year. I've never been to it, but I've heard about it. I've seen videos about it. It's called Mayberry Days, and it lasts from the 22nd of September through the 28th of September. And so I'll be going up there, and I'll be parking in my friend Chad's yard, Wolfman's Goodies. I'll be parking in his yard while I'm there and camping out in my Sprinter van. But that'll be fun to be there for a week and to go to the Mayberry Days. I plan on making lots of content while I'm there, so you guys will have plenty to watch. It's a draining. Check on that. Shouldn't go dead just sitting. New battery. That's right. It shouldn't go dead. So something's draining. Something is draining it. Some of the gear is maybe. William says, hey to Gumball Gold and to Jack. Gumball Gold says alternator needs to be charging at 14 volts when the engine is running. So look at the alternator gauge. Okay. I don't think I have a gauge that tells me exactly how many volts it's charging. Jack says no woods here. He wants to be there though. Sales are consistent like usual, and he's not a big timmer. No big timmer. Invisible River says, check charging rate and make sure radio is off. That will drain it for sure. Well, see, that's the problem is I think that the radio has some kind of short in it or something, because it would not turn off. So I'm thinking maybe it's draining power off the battery. So I'm gonna probably just go in there and disconnect the radio completely because it's not a good radio. It's terrible and it doesn't sound good. I don't use it. I don't listen to it. So I mean, I don't need it. Marty says, when are you going to see your son? You're talking about my son in Chicago. Probably go to Chicago in October. That's the plan. You have an electric meter? No, I don't. Timer. Pull the fuse to the radio. I would if I knew which one it was. Maybe that's maybe it's in the manual or something that came with the vehicle. I can go and check it out. Got a hammer. That'll fix her. Yeah, it will. Sure would. Outdoor says he had a dead battery the other day too, but he hadn't cranked it up his bus in over 2 months. So he charged it up and had no problem after that. Yeah, it would be less work just to take a hammer and bust it out. That's about what I want to do to it. Could be a bad battery. I purchased one last summer and took it back for a new one. That could be the case. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. Google it. What am I doing tomorrow? Tomorrow, first of all, I have a bunch of stuff I have to ship out that I sold over the weekend. So first thing tomorrow, I'll be packing up the items that sold over the weekend and getting them ready to be sent out to the Postal Service and to the UPS person and to the American for the, Express. Badlands says should be a fuse diagram in the owner's manual or on the fuse box. Okay, I'll check that out tomorrow. That's a good idea. I appreciate that. That was a really good suggestion. How do you go to Chicago? You should come here. Uh-oh. You should come here, and we have a huge antique mall and other antiques. Yeah, I might do that. Where are you located? Are you in the Chicago area? And how do I go to Chicago? It depends on what route I'm taking. Last year, I went to Pennsylvania first, and then I went from Pennsylvania to Chicago. But I think it's quicker if I drive straight from here to Chicago. I think I can get there in 8 hours. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, my son has told me that he just goes north, just heads north. I think 65 north takes him most of the way there. Jack says, "Good pickings. What have you picked up recently? Some good items. Tell us." Outdoor says the fuse box cover normally will tell you what fuses are for what. Unfortunately, it does not. In a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, the radio fuse is typically located on the main fuse box found in the footwell on the left-hand side of the vehicle. That's the only fuse box I'm aware of, is that fuse box on the main, right there on the left, where the footwell is. Jack says downstate, few hours south, but you can take 39 north and grab 80 to the city. All right. Well, Jack, I will put my email address in the comments below. You can email me and send me your phone number and your address and anything else you want to send me. So I might make a stop. Don't disregard that one. That is not my email address. I shouldn't talk and type at the same time. That's where I messed up. Above it all 68 at yahoo.com. That's my email address. So email me and we can yeah, we can get together. I always, when I take my trips, I always make sure that I go out picking while I'm out because that allows me to write off the trip as a business expense. So that's what I plan on doing, is writing it off as a business expense always. Whenever I go out to Arizona, I always go yard selling or find a Goodwill or something while I'm out there, so I can go pick up something that I can, be able to say this is a business trip and write it off. So that's what I plan on doing when I'm up there. So I would really love to go with you to your local places where you do your picking, and that's what I want to do. I don't know of any places in Chicago where I can go and pick, but when I'm in the area, I try to look for, places nearby outside, right, maybe right outside the city or something where I can go and pick. I don't know if my hand gesture just made the camera do that, but hand gestures, it recognizes hand gestures. It's a smart camera. Marty says she likes Goodwill stores. And Jack says he stripped a leaf blower and listed it for some parts today. Sold one part in less than 2 hours. That's pretty smart to do that. Okay, so it's Fuse 10. The radio is in Mercedes-Benz manual. Okay. Let me write that down real quick so I won't forget it. Actually, I'll take a picture because I'm lazy. Let's see. I'm going to take a picture of your comment so that I'll be able to reference it when I go back to my fuse box tomorrow. Remember, Illinois has felony laws for carrying in a gun or bullet across the state line. I didn't know that. But when you're law enforcement, you have reciprocal um, agreement that any law enforcement officer can carry a gun in any state. And I am law enforcement, so there you go. Is a schematic online. Are you going to post any more videos? Of course I'm going to post more videos. That's what this whole channel is about, is posting videos. There's spots in the city, but I've seen some crazy prices. I bet you have. But I'm sure I can find at least, some kind of thrift store or something in Chicago or in the area where my son lives, because where he lives is in the city of Chicago, but it's kind of like a little, I don't know how to say it, like a little village within the city. So it's kind of has a small town vibe, even though he is in the city of Chicago. And I really like the little area where he is. Marty says, "Do you know any Auburn players?" No, I don't. You're all set to play now. Now on the way up and back there, some killer picking spots. Yeah, I wanted to do the 100-mile yard sale this year, but I just didn't have the time or the ability to go do that at this juncture, as they would say. So I didn't do the 100-mile yard sale, but I wanted to do the yard sale for several years now. So maybe next year I'll plan ahead and I will cut out a specific time in my days when I can just go on that trip and take that 100-mile yard sale all the way up, because it starts in Alabama and I think it ends way up there in um, uh, Virginia or something. I'm not sure exactly where it ends, but I've been wanting to do that for several years now. Marty says, "Can you do crossword puzzles?" I don't have the a patience for a crossword puzzle. They have big multi-town sales here. It's over 2 full weekends. Wow, that sounds like a good time. I might end up staying there, spending more time in your area than you want me there, because I love a good pick. So I am going to share with you guys my flea market booth real quick, and I'm also going to share with you my eBay sales. But I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that tonight. I'm already 30 minutes into my live stream, so that's surprising. So here is my flea market booth, and it has been kicking it. I mean, it has been kicking it the last couple of days. I've sold 2 pretty expensive consoles, so this is just 4 days, 3 days worth. Starts on the first and ending on the 3rd. That's today, so it's only 3 days worth. But it has been kicking it. You can see I sold a PS4 bundle down here. That was yesterday for $165. And then I sold one of those record storage boxes for $25. That's been sitting down there since I opened the store, and somebody just bought it. I knew somebody would want it. A Johnny Lightning car for $8, and a Japanese scroll, which is like this wall hanging, and it's about maybe 6 foot long when you unscroll it, but it's got a nice, beautiful picture of a Japanese woman on there. And this little question mark right here, I know what that is. That was a movie, a DVD. And then on Friday, I sold a PS2 Fat bundle for $145. So that's 2 consoles in 2 days, which is really good. A Harry Potter video game for $14, and a what's it called, the game guide for, I sold a game guide. They call it a game guide, but it's actually I don't know why that popped up. It's actually a manual for Grand Theft Auto, to tell you how to cheat codes and all that stuff to tell you how to win the game. But it was a book. It was about this thick, and it was for Grand Theft Auto 5, and it sold for $15. And then I sold a beer sign for $20. Rugrats, not a DVD, but a VHS tape for $2, and NBA 16, and that would have been probably Xbox One or a PlayStation 4 game for $8. So I am not complaining at all. The flea market booth is just killing it. Really happy to see that. Let's see. Jack says he's not sure when the event is, but it is worth the ride. 100-mile yard sale ain't that in the Appalachian Mountains? I think it does go through part of the Appalachians, or Appalachian, whoever, if you're from Appalachia, I think you call it Appalachia, but we call it Appalachia here in Alabama. I do anyway. Jack says Spoon River Drive is like 20 towns, and most of the town are full of vendors from all over the country. Barns full all along the route. Traffic is flipping nuts. Yeah. Yeah, I hate that I missed that 100-mile yard sale this year, but I'm gonna make a special effort to go to the 100-mile yard sale next year. So I'm going to take a moment and share with you my eBay. Really happy with eBay, the sales. But like I said, I've been, Jack, I don't think you were on here earlier when I mentioned that I've been, one of the strategies that I've used to increase my sales has been to end 100 listings every day. So I've been ending 100 listings every single day and relisting or selling similar. I don't relist them, I sell similar. And that strategy has been working, but I've also been listing 5 items a day. So the two together, getting the 100 items delisted and then relisted is working pretty good. And then to add the new 5 listings every day, so that's 105 new listings every day. Some people say that that the algorithm doesn't recognize it as well. What I'm saying is, according to the algorithm, when you end a listing and you sell similar or relist that item, it's supposed to show up as a new item, like you just listed a new item. And that's part of the whole thing with eBay, is they want to see you being active on a daily basis in your selling in your store, in order for you to get the views on your listings and be able to sell more items. So a lot of people say, well, if you end and sell similar, then that tricks the algorithm and it makes it look like your store has had more activity than it actually has, and your sales will increase. Well, I have tested that theory out on just ending and relisting, not putting any new listings up at all. And my store crashed when I did that. I mean, I think the algorithm doesn't always recognize the listings that have been ended and relisted, but it definitely does recognize all the new listings that you put up. So when I consistently put up 5 listings a day, it really makes a big difference as far as my store getting the traction it needs. You got $5 for a I've heard of that. Just ended and sold similar over 800 postcards. 5 to 6 days ago, sold several picks so far and a few other items. Well, that's good. Wolfman's Goodies. Welcome, Wolfman's Goodies. Good to see you on here. He says howdy to everybody. He got asked tonight if he was related to Gomer Pyle. Are you related to Gomer Pyle, Chad? By the way, the guy that asked you that question is a friend of mine, and he came over to your channel from my channel, Dallas Flippin'. He's not on here tonight for some reason, but maybe he is on here. He's just not commenting. New posts get more views. That's true. I agree. Invisible River, a little extra tiger paws, nails traction. Yep. Jack says, hey, Wolfman. And Chad says he may be related to Gomer Pyle. Did you know Gomer Pyle is from Alabama? The guy that played Gomer Pyle? He is actually from Alabama, from Sylacauga, Alabama. And 5 points for the first person that tells me his name. I'm going to count backwards. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who can tell me his name? I'll tell you, he's got the same first name as the guy that's on this live stream tonight. Jack says he knows it. Gumball Gold. Yes, yes, it is Jim Neighbors, not Jen Neighbors, Jim Neighbors. You got it right. So yeah, he is from Sylacauga, Alabama. Invisible River says his name is Gomer Pyle. Jack says he has some Granny's records. Some Granny's what? Some of his Granny's records. Oh, okay. Well, I need some records from my flea market booth. My records are selling like crazy, and I need some more to replace them with. Wolfman's, you got it right, Wolfman, but you weren't the first one. It was Gumball Gold beat you to it. And we got a new person in here tonight. Craig's World. How are you doing in Craig's World? Yes, I am in Alabama. I'm in Montgomery, Alabama. That's where I hail. And I don't know how familiar you are with my channel, but my channel is about my retirement and my retirement experiences. And part of that involves travel. So I go to different places in my Sprinter van as part of my YouTube content. Gumball Gold said he sang at the Indy every year. Okay, I didn't know that. Jack says he sells records in his flea market booth also. So how are your records doing, Jack? How often do you get hail in Alabama? It happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. And you know, I've had like about 15 years ago, I had a friend that got every window of his car got busted out because the hail was so bad. Craig's World, he's in Birmingham, but grew up in Montgomery. Okay, so what school did you go to? Did you go to Lee High School or did you go to one of the others here in the area? Jeff Davis? Jack's laughing. Good evening, Chuck Jacobs. Good to see you on here. How are you doing tonight? I hadn't seen you in a little while, but it's good to see you tonight. How's everything going there in your neck of Arizona? Everybody saying hello to Chuck. And Craig says, "What's up, Dash?" No, Trinity. Hell can be brutal. It really can. It can break every uh, it can break every window out of your car if you're not careful. Chuck says all is okay. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Um, what is up, FSJ? Jack says his records do real well in his flea market booth. Surprisingly, he said he needs to get out there tomorrow and put new inventory in. Where do you get your records from? I got most of the records that I had from, well, I got some of them from a yard sale, and then I got the rest of them from I've talked about it several times on my live streams where the friend of mine was shot and killed, and his son ended up contacting me and selling me all the contents from the storage, and that's where a lot of the records came from that I have. Had some pretty cool records in there too. Invisible River says eBay will soar in October for Christmas season. Yes, it will. They call that the third quarter, and it will definitely soar. But I don't think I even got started telling you about the performance of my eBay store. It has done in the last 20, let's see, 31 days, it has done $3,917.10. With taxes was $336.82, and my selling cost was $1,305.94. So my net sales, that's actually the money I took home, was $2,274.34. It looks like my average sales per item went down a little bit. It's usually in the $75 range. So it looks like it went down to about $64.21. But you can see the last 31 days that the eBay store has been doing very well. You can see it's been pretty consistent about, having sales. I did have a day here with no sales, which was set July 20th. And then I had yesterday with no sales, which was interesting because yesterday I took a break from listing. But I did put up my 100 items that I ended and sold similar. So if you were listening earlier, Chad, what I do is I end 100 items every day. That's what I've been doing to try to stimulate sales in my store and sell similar. But if I don't list those extra 5 items on top of the 100 items that are, just brand new listings altogether, that's what happens. I got a day with no sales whatsoever. So I don't know if any of you guys experience that who sell on eBay, but that is something that I have found. I don't know if it's just coincidence or what, but it seems like if you don't actually list real items every day, it does affect your store. Jack says he collected for 20 years and had over 3,000 of them at once. 3,000. Oh, I'm missing something. Records. Okay, gotcha. And we used to road trip to pick up records, but it gave up. But he gave it up for stereos. Then he gave it up for junking and eBay. So now I just sell my hoard. So what you're telling me, Jack, is that you are a modern day Fred Sanford, because that's what I am. I'm a modern day Fred Sanford. But I don't have a, look at that, thumbs up. But I don't have an Aunt Esther. Outdoors is talking to Chuck, and Chuck is talking back. But by the way, if you're not familiar with Chuck, he is a Bigfoot hunter. He doesn't hunt them; he's friends with them. And I did a whole video about it, showing his van, and we talked a little bit about the Bigfoots while we were there. Well, you big dummy. I want a storefront. You want a storefront? Isn't that too much like a job? I don't want a storefront. That's a job, man. That's more work than I want to do. Jack says, coming to see you, Elizabeth. Coming to see you. Oh, I've come to see you, Elizabeth. I love watching Fred Sanford, and he was a junker for sure. But I never saw him sell anything. Did any of you guys see Fred Sanford sell anything out of his junk? Because it seems to me like he was more of a hoarder than a seller. But I'm like the modern day white Fred Sanford. Jack says he needs his job. He misses his money. And he wants to have a lawnmower, small engine shop in the back, and a thrift store up front. Man, you are all kinds of entrepreneur, aren't you? Well, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about it because we are working on getting close to an hour. But I'm going to share with you some of the items that I've sold recently because I know that you all think that's interesting that I sell. Uh, exactly what do I sell out of my store? So let's go to my sold items and let you guys see. See the kind of craziness that goes on in my store. I didn't pick up a whole lot of stuff this weekend. That's why I haven't really um, shown you the stuff. But here's some of the stuff that I picked up that I've already listed. This baby doll, this Mizuno baseball glove, and this kilowatts electricity usage power monitor. Those are all some things that I picked up this past weekend. Okay, so looks like I had two sales since I have been online. Since I have been on this live stream, I've had two sales. That is um, unheard of. Never had that happen. But looks like one of them was this Ryobi battery charger sold for $32.40. I might needed that. I need a battery charger for my Ryobi. And this vest, I showed that at the beginning of my live stream. That sold for $25.20. By the way, I think I paid like $5 for this Ryobi charger at a yard sale. The vest, I don't even remember how much I paid for it, but I'm sure I didn't pay more than $5 for it. And it's a leather vest. It sold for $25.20. This Magic Bullet 17-piece mixer system sold for $44.99. So let's just say $45. And I got that at the local thrift store for $10. And it sold for $44.99. And then I sold this Leathernecks ring. And this is a stainless steel ring. I'm going to share this a little bit more detail with you. But this is a stainless steel ring. If you've ever heard of the Leathernecks Motorcycle Club, it's called Leathernecks Confederation. My wife and I knew someone who was a member of this club, and he passed away from COVID. And so she got some of the items that he had, and this was one of them. So I listed it in my store, and it sold for $67.50, and I don't have anything into it. So that was something that I received after the gentleman passed away. But the guy that bought it, I'll tell you a little story about him. He contacted me and he said that that the only people that are supposed to have these items from the Leatherneck Motorcycle Club are people who have actually been or are in the Leathernecks. And he asked me how I got this ring. So we started chatting on, he started messaging me back and forth on the eBay email system. And I told him that I would be glad to sell him the ring if he's a Leatherneck and would like it. I would love to sell it. I'd be honored to sell it to any Leatherneck who wants it. So he ended up contacting me again, and he bought it. And he ended up buying it, and he told me he was a Leatherneck in California. So it ended up that ring went to another Leatherneck, which is good. And then I sold this Sony portable DVD player. I took an offer, $31, $31.49 is what it was listed at, and I took an offer of $30 for it. And I had about $5 into that from a yard sale. And then this watch, I'll show it a little bit because it was kind of a pricey item. This is a Russian watch. Let me get down to it. It's called a Vostok amphibian diver watch. And I bought this watch from a lady. Her husband passed away, and he had like 10 very nice, beautiful watches. And I ended up buying all of his watches plus about 1,000 rounds of 7.62 ammo in the cans, brand new, never been opened, for about $650. So I ended up making about $1,400 on just two of the watches, and that had already sold. So this watch here, this is just profit, complete profit. And I'm starting to sell some of these McFarlane action figures. I keep calling them action figures, and I even listed them as action figures. But this is from that big buy that I did. I paid $350 for a huge six totes of these things, and they're finally starting to sell. They're not selling for big money. This one sold for $23.40. So I haven't made my $350 back on that purchase yet, but I'm still hopeful. Then I sold this Hamilton Beach blender, and it sold for $61.65. A lot of folks will take these blenders and this sort of thing, and they'll part them out. They'll sell the lid, they'll sell the pitcher, and then they'll sell the blender itself all separate and make more money that way. I wanted to keep it together. I just don't like the idea of having part of a blender. So I bought this at a yard sale for $5, and it sold for $61.65. This is one of my favorite sales here recently. This was a Hot Wheel. I did a whole video about these Hot Wheels. This was a Nomad, 69 Nomad. I did a whole video about these Hot Wheels. I found a whole tub like this big by this big, full of red line Hot Wheels, and it was $7 for the whole tub. A lot of them in there were from the 60s. They were all really in fairly good condition, and this is one of them that was in there. It sold for $130.50. I had some people contacting me after I listed these on eBay and said, your prices are way too high. Nobody will ever pay that much for those Hot Wheels cars. I had someone offer me $15 for this. and that's just basically laughable. When somebody gives me a crazy, stupid offer like that, sometimes they just get blocked. I also sold this fly fishing stuff, and this is a kit for fly fishing, and it sold for $40.50, and that was part of that buy that I did of that storage locker from the friend of mine that was murdered. He was shot, but this is a fly fishing kit. I wouldn't know what to do with these things, but I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time showing you any more stuff that I've sold, because I think that just a few items is enough to make you guys happy. But yeah, it's the sales are doing very well, and I'm very pleased with how eBay is doing. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this later and you're a retail seller or you're an eBay seller, if you guys have had any issues with ending and selling similar affecting your resale rate if you didn't list your own items as well. Let's see. I'm going to back up on these comments here. Jack says, hopefully one more surgery and he gets his life back. He's had Sanford. He's heard of Sanford's son. CJ has heard of Sanford's son. He's a younger guy, but he don't think he that he's seen it. Yeah, y'all look it up on Netflix. They probably got it on Netflix. You can go check it out. And you have a storage building to prove it. Yes, I do. So I guess I am the modern day Sanford. Well, it's funny, but if you're offended easy, you may just want to skip it. Red Fox was a raunchy dude. Oh yes, he was, but one of the best. Uh, he was funny. But they did keep him clean on network television because they had to. Back then, you couldn't say whatever you wanted to on the network. So he didn't use any foul language that I know of in the series Sanford's Son. Jack says he found an electric riding mower and he's getting ready to strip it and list the parts. And Charger sells for 250 plus. Wow. I found that, that makes me think of something that happened to me recently. I found the hood of a mower. It was an electric mower and it was just the hood and it was beside the road. So anything that's beside the road is fair game. But I went to eBay and looked it up and it's, selling for like $250. And it'd be a little bit of a pain to pack it up and send it out. But, hopefully somebody local will pick it up. But even if I have to pack it up and ship it out, it should do well. I mean, that'd be $250 that I made from nothing. Jack says, sweet sales. Thank you very much. And Invisible River says, pricey stuff. Yes, pricey stuff. People pay money for pricey stuff. Jack says he's excited, probably $600 to $700 in parts that he could ship on that mower. And that goes with all MCs. Anything with club name is club property. That sounds fun, shooting some bang bangs. Friend had a 50 caliber, $10 per shot. Nice red line sale. Love selling parts. Just sold a blade from a B&D chopper for like $20 shipped. Wow. That's a good story to remember. The guy that gave us a $15 offer, probably a red line guy himself trying to scam some real scumbags. That's true. Nice set. And I hope that your sales went well, CG says. He's always got kind things to say. So it looks like I have exceeded my hour. And it's time for me to say goodnight to everybody. I appreciate everyone for being on tonight. It is always good to be able to communicate with you guys on my live streams. I really do enjoy all of you guys coming in here and spending time with me. And I'll go through the list. Marty Baker, CG Anime Fan, Invisible River Ranch, FS Jack. Let's see, who else do we have here? We've got Chuck Jacobs, and we've got Outdoors Dreadhead, and Craig's World. Craig is new to the channel for as far as commenting on my live streams. I don't know if you've been on my channel before on my live streams, but it's good to have you on here, buddy. And I hope you can join me every Sunday because I have a live stream every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And let's not forget Gumball Gold for being on here tonight and Wolfman's Goodies, who I will be spending some quality time with in September next month. I look forward to spending some time with you, my friend, Chad, and Marty Baker, my biggest #1 fan. I appreciate you being on here. And I think I said CG Anime Fan, but if I didn't, CG Anime Fan, good to have you on here. And so I'm going to go ahead and close it out for the night. Say good night to you all. Hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed week, and I hope that you stay cool. I'm going to do my best to try to stay cool this week, trying to get over all the heat. I'm ready for the coolness to come, ready for the winter. I can't believe I'm saying that. But I'll see you guys on next Sunday's live stream. Until then, you guys take care. Love you all, and good night. Bye-bye.